Hey, guys. I think I am live, according to the YouTube machine. How's everybody doing? It's Friday night. My family has abandoned me. And so what do? I jump on YouTube and hang out with you guys. How's everybody's Friday going? Or week? Are you guys ready for the weekend? I've got my ugly Christmas sweater going on. There's a llama on it. Christmas llama. Let's say hello to Jeff Whitmire. What's going on, man? Ed Lang, good to see you. Ao Rhino. Good to see you guys. Yeah, thanks for joining me here again. I just thought I would just kind of pop on, see what's going on. You see if anybody's out there in the universe. What's up? Center Fielder 7, good to see you. Go Tom Brady and 88 Topps baseball pie to Brad's face. Nobody loves 88 Topps more than HRE XKR, and I love it. I'm here for it. Now, is it just 88 Topps baseball or also like football and, well, I guess there's not a basketball. There's just Fleer for basketball, but I think that you had said that you like 88 Topps football too. I love 88 Topps football with the Bo Jackson rookies, etc. Nate, what's going on? Thousand Mountains. Crazy Kev. What do you guys want to talk about? I'm just going to roll through like whatever you guys want to talk about in the chat. I've got really nothing other than sadness and loneliness because my whole family left me today to go on a road trip. It's a weird weekend where my 4 kids and my wife are not going to be here the next couple of days. So party time. That's right. Ugly sweater day. Exactly. Got the llama on there, my Christmas llama. Javi Champs, good to see you. Okay, you know what? Sometimes I can never figure out the crossover, the YouTube chat versus the Instagram versus the Twitter, and I don't make those connections a lot of times, so apologies there. Are you guys buying anything, or are you like holiday season and you're kind of off limits? I just got this, so this is kind of interesting. I just got this in the mail today. I don't know if you guys have seen this as football card collectors, but this is a 2001 Donruss Elite Joe Namath on card, passing the torch, comes right out of the pack like that. So that's why I've been looking back kind of at those like late 90s, early 2000s. Like the basketball inserts are insane price-wise. So I've been going back and looking at like, what can I find for like football legends that are kind of similar? You know, so this is one that actually I met a dealer at the Raleigh show. I didn't pull the trigger on it and then ended up reaching out to him like, oh, I want to buy this. Ended up paying more and had to have it shipped because I was like, you know, too cautious or whatever to do it at the show. Just didn't make up my mind and then ended up paying more money to have it shipped and negotiated. But I just thought, oh, and it's numbered out of 100 too. So these are pretty cool. They also have dual ones. So there's also a Joe Namath, Chad Pennington dual auto. So that's kind of and of course, because of Pennington, it's not going to be as wanted as this one. Unless I guess you're a diehard Jets fan, and maybe, you know, you like Pennington. I mean, Pennington was a good quarterback. Don't get me wrong. But, you know, you see that all the time where there's like, I don't know what's an example, like Kenny Stabler, Raiders, and, you know, Jamarcus Russell, rookies, like Raiders QBs or whatever. And it's like, nah, I don't really need that Jamarcus Russell signature on Google Plus. I need to check that. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've been trying to, well, I think I talked about it. I'm trying to get a little bit more focused. That one. So this is kind of funny, but I've been buying things leading up to 2022 because I'm getting focused in 2022. So I'm running out of time to not be focused because 2022 is going to be a more focused year. I'm going to be disciplined. That's what's going to happen. I think, I hope. No, it will. It will. Carlos is going live on his channel as well, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern. So in a few minutes, I wanted to jump on actually before he went on because I'll be watching his stream in a little bit. That late 90s, early 2000s is a little bit of a gold mine for collectors that like the players of the era. Plenty of nice autos, mem still out there. Yeah. And it's kind of the beginning of all that mem stuff. Like I've shown this one before. But this is the 96 Upper Deck game used. This one's Marshall Faulk. There's also Marino. I believe there's a Jerry Rice card. But this one literally, like on the back of this card, it reads, "You have received the first ever game-worn jersey card from the Upper Deck Company." That's what it says on the card. So, I mean, if we're just talking about like, you know, if you look at these new, you know, like 2020 National Treasures where it's got a sticker auto and it's like player worn, player looked at it from across the room, picked it off of a rack of a Walmart, you know, cut it up into patches, and then, you know, the player looked at it, threw it on a card. You know, this is like pretty legit stuff when you get back into that late 90s, early 2000s. So I agree with Carlos. My oldest son is asking, he's trying to, this is funny. He just texted me. He's like, does anyone know where to find a Mamma Mia, I guess that's a movie soundtrack vinyl record? Because he wants to buy that for his girlfriend or something like that. So anyone that's into vinyl records and you know where to find maybe that's some of that stuff, reach out to me. So maybe I can figure this out for him. Part 2, I'm going to be working on tomorrow. So the one good thing for some, not for most, is that my family's out of town. So I'm going to be making a lot of content. So I've actually been thinking about, do I want to batch it and then just put it out over the next week? Or do I want to put out 3 videos in one day? I'm still contemplating. You might see a couple of shorts pop up or something. Those like little 30-second clips. I'm still learning about those. Those are dangerous for me. With the amount of content I put out, I could do a lot of shorts, but I don't want to bog down your feed either. So yeah, part 2 is going to come out this weekend. I've already listed out enough stuff to get part 2 out, Ed. So that will be coming out. And I really like getting feedback from you all too, kind of, you know, your thoughts and also suggestions. I also like it where it's like, oh, okay, you know, you see this one, but have you seen this card? Or here's an alternative. Because a lot of times I might not have heard of that one. So that's always helpful. Stay alive for a week. Yeah, that might be the next step. That's going to be, look, the only way I'm going to catch up with Jeff Wilson and these guys is it's going to have to be 24/7, 365-day content. Where it's going to be like, I don't know if you guys, well, there's a documentary on CNN. So back in the day when CNN came about, they were the first like 24-hour news network. And then the other ones kind of followed. And now we have 24-hour news. Maybe that's what this is going to be for Sports Cards. I might lose half of my, you know, subscribers or whatever, but you know, short-term pain for long-term gains, guys. Yeah, I know Carlos is just dying for more content, dying for more sound effects. I know he was telling me, he was like, you know, he really likes the whoa and all that stuff, all the like sound effects and the goofiness. So we need to ramp that up. Drake, what's up, man? How's it going? Yeah, who dat, except for I don't know how we're going to beat the Bucks on Sunday night with both of our all-pro tackles out, our third-string quarterback. Is Kamara playing? Honestly, it's just going to have to be the Kamara show. Give him the ball 50 times and just hope and pray. That's going to be it. Oh, and our coach is out again. He got the bug. I can't say it on the stream. He got the thing. Actually, there's a joke. My brother sent me this. So for Sean Payton, the coach of the Saints, I don't know if you guys saw this, but they made a movie with, oh my gosh, who is the actor? Anyway, it's Kevin. Oh my gosh. Anyway, they just made a movie about Sean Payton, like post Bountygate, when he got suspended for a year and he's coaching his son's football team. And I'm just drawing a blank on the actor. It's like Kevin, whatever. Anyway, I can't think of the guy's name. If you guys remember, but anyway, there was a bunch of like memes going around like, hey, basically like the actor that's playing Sean Payton, put him in the coach while Sean Payton is out. Next man up. Reaction vids to vids you posted an hour ago. I don't think I'm doing enough reaction vids in general. I should be doing reactions to the 8-hour live stream that Carlos is about to do. Stream yourself sleeping. Just, you know what? Here's the sad part is that people will be like, oh, that's crazy. That's dumb. Nobody would like that. But some news outlet would probably pick that up as like, this guy literally is just posting himself like in his house, just staring at the wall. And that's all it takes, guys. That's all it takes. Just a little bit of Kevin James. There it is. Kevin James. Thank you, Drake. We're going viral with the sleeping vids. Yeah. Taysom's not our first string quarterback. Jameis is. He's been out for so long. We hadn't won a game without Jameis up until last week when we beat the Jets. So. Oh, dude, I've been on the dark side. Yeah, I went to the dark side because I just realized that Tom Brady's just he's inevitable. He's Thanos in this game. He is inevitable. There's no stopping him. You can just hate on him all you want, but he is inevitable. He will always be there. Hey, I love Taysom. I do. It's kind of a love-hate where Taysom will do something great, and then he'll do something really boneheaded. So I'm with you. Ouch. Well, I'm going to share that with Brad. Would be more informative than Brad. Deep down, he knows that, though. Sadly, he knows. Thanks, Andy. I appreciate that. It's got a llama on it. It's my ugly sweater dealy. Oh, man, this is a question for the chat because I am not a SGC 10 gold versus a BGS Pristine 10 guy. I don't own either of those. Actually, do I have a BGS 10? I don't have a black label. Yeah, well, I don't know what you mean by that. Don't give Taysom wide receivers and it's 9-9. Do you mean if he had wide receivers, it would be 9-9? Look, I totally agree. We have but the whole team is hurt or out or whatever. I mean, half of our starters are missing. I'm not even kidding. Literally, I don't even know if Cameron Jordan is playing. I mean, there's a bunch of guys that have been out all year. So the fact that we even have a semi-decent record is kind of astounding. Kurt, what's going on? 87, 88 Fleer, Jordan, base and sticker. Fallen, I can't imagine second-year MJs being bad buys. Thoughts? I think that this just comes down, though, to availability of these cards. I think that's the only thing that kind of concerns me about that. That's not I mean, those aren't low grades, 7, 8. And maybe you're right, long run, if you're just kind of holding those for decades type thing. I don't know either. Are you talking about flipping those, or are you talking about buying and just kind of stashing those away? Because actually Carlos made a good video on this about, demand is it's an ever-changing thing, demand for stuff. So, if there's 5,000 PSA 7, 87, 88 Fleer Jordans, that might be a lot right now. In 20 years, it might not be very many at all, so, or in 1 year or whatever, next week, so I think that's kind of the thing with PSA 7. If you can, for me, what I'm trying to do, if I can afford the higher grade, then I will, and just try to get into something that's a little bit more scarce. So it's if I can afford the 8 and it's, it doesn't, over that PSA 7, then I'll try to get the 8. So many different ways you can go with that, though. But I agree. I really like the 87, 88 Fleer. And again, we don't know exact print runs, but from everything I've heard from hobbyists, the 87, 88 Fleer set was printed less than 86 Fleer, if that helps at all. Now, 88, 89 Fleer was supposedly printed a lot more than 87, 88 Fleer. So that's why I'm a little less on that 88 Fleer Jordan. I'm kind of nah, just because I think they did print that quite a bit. But I don't know if anyone else has any thoughts on that card. I love that card. I mean, I get it for sure. I'm not a big fan of the 87, 88 Fleer basketball stickers. I've got a couple of them, but just the design, I'm just not crazy about them. Yeah, I mean, if we had Michael Thomas, if we had, Traquan Smith healthy, if we had some of these guys, we were already a little thin at receiver heading into the season. And then, Michael Thomas not coming back was a problem. I'll tell you, one of the cards that's on my list is a PSA 7 or a PSA 8 86 Fleer Jordan sticker rookie, because those have also come down pretty dramatically. So I don't know where budget is, or maybe you like that second year Jordan better than the 86 Fleer sticker, but the 86 Fleer sticker has come down in price quite a bit. I remember at the National, there was one table where a guy had maybe 10 of them, and he had like a BGS 6.5. He had PSA 7s. He had like 7 PSA 7s, and he was selling them, I think, for like $1,100 or $1,200, and they've come down from that too. So I don't know what your price point is, but that's a card that I'm targeting in 2022 is that Fleer sticker Jordan rookie. The problem with Deshaun Watson, I see you. Yeah, I see you there. Is his contract, number one. Number two, we just don't know what are the, is he going to be out for, is he going to be suspended for a year? So you're taking on a $40 million a year contract, plus he might be out for a year. That's just a lot. I mean, the NFL is it's a short memory league where it's like a year is like a lifetime. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I love the talent of Deshaun Watson, but like, what's going on with him? I haven't heard anything. I don't know anything about, is he going to play football again? Is he, is he going to court? Is it like, what's going on with it? I have no idea. Do I collect McFarlane sports figures at all? I don't have any. No, I've got some of the starting lineups, I think, and you might know if you've watched my channel, but I've got like, when I was a kid, the 1988 is that first year starting lineups. And I've got some of those. I've got some of them graded too from AFA. So is it Action Figure Authority? It's the same company as VGA that grades video games. But I've got a few graded starting lineups. I'm a huge Spawn guy, Spawn comic guy from the early. I love that. That was a comic book that I was all about when I was a kid. So I love Todd McFarlane is like the GOAT for me of comic book artists. I know that, the Marvel and the DC people probably like shout me down for that, but Todd McFarlane to me is just an absolute genius. I love what he did with, the Amazing Spider-Man 300 books and, with all the work he did at Marvel. And then when he branched off into Image, big fan of McFarlane. And then when he did the thing I like about his statues and his figurines is they're highly, highly detailed, they're next level as far as quality goes. So if you want quality stuff, Tom McFarlane knows how to do quality. I'm not buying any UFC cards, Jeff. And I know this is kind of like with F1, UFC, and some of these kind of like alt sports that people are getting into. I mean, I know there's a crowd that's getting into UFC. It's just, I haven't gotten into it yet, partly just because I don't watch enough UFC. It's just not a thing that I'm into. I feel like if I was big into it, then maybe I would have already, actually, if I was big into UFC, I probably would have already gotten into the cards at some time. Long-term holds for Kobe Bryant raw cards. I think it's just going to depend too on like, which ones are we talking about? All of it boils down to, scarcity on Kobe stuff, but Kobe stuff has just been red hot over the last couple of years. And so it's, I just think that's tough. And I'm not a Kobe collector too. So I don't, I can't go back and say like, oh, these are the types of sets and the inserts that I really like, of Kobe. I just see a lot of the big sales for his autograph stuff and, his Topps Chrome rookies and stuff like that. But I guess what are you looking at? Are you looking at like rookie cards? You looking at inserts, auto stuff? Are you looking at more like second, third, fourth year? I'd be curious just to kind of know like what you're interested in. Mike Tyson rookie cards are a steal. Which one is his official rookie card one time? If you could put that in the chat, I'd be interested in just kind of checking it out because I've seen his stuff, but I don't know what's what. Oh, a sticker. The Mike Tyson rookie card is a sticker. Okay. Which year of NBA starting lineups are your favorite? I love the 89 one-on-ones as they are the rarest. Oh, I didn't know that those were the rarest. I didn't know that. I've got a few of the what are they? It's not the one-on-one. It's like it's the one where it's holding up like a headline. It's called like headliners. Headlines or headliners. I think that the 88, 89, 90 are the ones that I really grew up with. It's same with like Ninja Turtle figures from 88. 88 is when a lot of that stuff started, and I was 7. So that was like prime time for me for action figures, like the He-Man stuff, the Thundercats, the the Ninja Turtle stuff. Not that I have loads of like the action figures in box, but it's really cool. Like I was at this Raleigh card show and they had like He-Man figures that were original from like 1986 in the box. And I was like, man, that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Just from a nostalgia standpoint, that stuff is awesome. So I don't know if I necessarily have a favorite FV, but I will tell you, especially the football ones too, because I had Joe Montana and Brett Favre and a lot of those guys. So yeah, no, it's a nostalgia thing for me. The starting lineups. That's not necessarily like I'm buying them to hold because I think they're going to be worth $1 zillion, down the road. That's more of kind of like I want to preserve a piece of my childhood, and that's why I bought like the graded version. Plus, like the graded versions, they weren't huge money, to where it didn't set me back, anything crazy. And it was like a lot. That's a lot of my stuff too. I collect graded video games for the same reason. I've got like a graded copy of like Excite Bike, original NES. I've got Super Mario Brothers, but it's just to kind of keep them all. I can keep them in my office and I can look at them and it just kind of gives me like good feelings. It's good vibes. What card show is next on your schedule? I would say actually contemplated going to the Winston-Salem show this weekend because it's here in North Carolina. It's about 2 hours away, and I am, it's like I could go because I'm like my family's not here with me right now, so I could go to that show, but I'm also kind of the point where it's like I've gotten what I wanted to get through the end of the year, and I kind of need to regroup, recharge the batteries, probably recharge the budget a little bit too. We've got some other things going on here, other responsibilities. So I don't know if necessarily I should go to a card show and be, tempted to buy a bunch of cards. I should probably just chill out. So my next show will probably be, my next card show will probably be the next Raleigh show. My wife and I are planning to also go to the National this year in Atlantic City because it's like East Coast. It's closer to us. So we'll definitely be at the National for sure. I might actually, there might actually be like a Dallas show or something, in between there. I might try to go to another like East Coast show if there's like Virginia or a DC show or something like that. Boston, I wouldn't be against it. But right now, I think I'm just going to kind of stick with that local. Honestly, the local Raleigh show has picked up to where it's almost like I don't even necessarily need to travel. Like I've got a good local show right now. Raleigh. It's funny. I went there a year ago and it was half empty. Now it's slammed. Now that show is slammed. So yeah, Chantilly show in March. Yeah, that could be an option. Yeah, it doesn't lie. I know. Yeah, sometimes I play like the intro to those 80s cartoons for my kids and they think it's hilarious. I'm like, hey guys, come here and look at this. And it's like Fraggle Rock intro. And they're like, Dad, what is this? Like, you actually used to watch this? I'm like, yeah, I still do. It's amazing. Yeah, take the weekend off and get ready for 2022. That's kind of what I was thinking. Just kind of recharge a little bit. And again, like I've got enough stuff. Like I probably, I talked about in a video, it's like, I need to probably just enjoy some of the things that I've got and, plan for next year, figure out, okay, what am I doing next year? Because I collect graded comic books, graded cards, and graded video games. I've got some graded starting lineups, but I've got 4 of them, so it's not like I've got like 100 of those. But between those 3 things, it's mostly cards, some games and then comics, but I need to kind of see like, okay, where do I want to put resources next year? Also I kind of look to as like from a population standpoint, what are some things that I want where I think that the population actually might grow to where pricing might drop a little bit on those things. So it's like, do I want to buy that in January or should I wait until June when maybe, there's more of them available? 89 Hoops basketball. Yeah. I love that set. I don't really know. Cause again, that once you get into 89, then you're getting into like, they printed the heck out of that stuff, so that's where it gets kind of tricky, Mark, so obviously I can't see the future. So I don't know. But once you get past like 87, 88. Then you start getting to 88, 89 Fleer basketball. Then you get into 89, 90, and then 90, 91. Then it's like that stuff is widely available. And I just don't know. I don't know, unfortunately. But all I can say is that that stuff is not scarce. So it would have to mean that I guess there was just some like demand down the road for it, and there very well could be. Very well could be. It's a really cool set. I mean, when I was a kid, I remember those packs. I mean, that was a fun set to collect. I believe that's the set with the David Robinson rookie card in it. That was like a huge chase card. It was one that like everybody wanted. Was that David Robinson rookie card? The Jordan card is cool. The Larry Bird, Magic Johnson cards are cool, and that set. What's up, Ryan? Good to see you, man. Thanks for joining. This is kind of just impromptu. I decided this at like 4:30. I'm like, just kind of go on live for a little bit. The National will be awesome, and the Boston Shriner show is fantastic. Didn't the Boston Shriner show just happen, right, a few months back? Because I was actually thinking about that. Is that multiple times a year, or is that once a year? Because I wouldn't mind going to Boston for a show. I think that would be cool. Wax to the future. Good to see you. Yeah, the National, late July, I believe, is when it is. Yeah, so I'm tempted to go to this show, but I think I'm gonna stay back. I'm gonna stay back. I need to, I spent some money at the Raleigh show, and I'm just like, you know what? I just need to chill. I need to chill. We're kind of at the end of the year. I'd love to go to that Winston-Salem show. I heard it's actually a bigger show than the Raleigh show is, so I would like to check it out. Also would have liked to do a little bit of vlogging. Can't do vlogging at the Raleigh show anymore unless that changes. But when I went to the Raleigh show this past weekend, the sign on the door, and that's a new thing because that was a new thing that I think it might be just for this show. They started doing that because they used to not have a sign or anything for people that had cameras. I can understand if you're being obnoxious with a camera, but I think there's also a way to do it where you're being really careful with it, and maybe there's some added rules. I don't know. It's kind of a catch-22 where I understand privacy of the dealers, and then also, it's free promotion for the events. I can kind of see both sides of the argument, to where, and one thing I was saying, I was in a group chat on this. It might be because the Raleigh show is just so bustling right now. It's so busy. It might just be that they're like, hey, we don't want the cameras. Like they almost don't need the promotion because they're already sold out of booth space or whatever. Whereas a year ago when the place was half empty, they'd probably be like, yeah, bring your cameras in here. I don't know. I'm guessing, but we'll see if that changes. Have I thought about collecting Mac Jones? I have not, but I will, but kind of with a caveat here, Tyler, I don't buy any new rookies. So I shouldn't say I don't buy any, but I mean, I've got one Zion card. I've got I think I've got one or two John Morant rookie cards. I just typically hold off on the brand new prospects. I do have Luka stuff. I guess he's still considered a new prospect. Luka stuff, and then I've got some Trey stuff too. I've got some Jason Tatum, but he was a rookie in 2017. I've got some of the two that like Jamal Murray's a 2016 rookie, Devin Booker's a 2015 rookie. So I've got a little bit of that stuff. But the guys that are brand new, especially when I see Mac Jones, Don Russ, PSA 10s going for $2,000 or $3,000. No, I definitely got a lot of his stuff for cheap back when they were 2 to 4. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't. And then also the thing that's kind of frustrating is that with the supply chain issues, they're so behind on all these rookie card sets. You still have like LaMelo Ball rookie card sets coming out. It's like, we're not going to see a Cade Cunningham rookie card for a year. Isn't that crazy? The guy's going to be a sophomore season before we see a rookie card come out for him, most likely. So I think all that, to me is just kind of like, I'll just wait. But honestly, it's not because I don't like those guys. There's just so many other things that I want that are, whether we're talking about vintage football or basketball or baseball, or if we're talking about, the 90s insert stuff, the auto patch stuff, there's just a lot. There's a lot of stuff that I want. So that's why for the newer guys, I'll just let that stuff cool off, kind of see how they do. With Mac Jones, I understand the excitement, especially if you're a Pats fan. And if you're just collecting to collect, then that's one thing. But if you're, I worry about people that buy Donruss PSA 10s for $3,000 because I just don't think that and I don't even know if those are legit sales if they were, but I just don't see where the room is to grow, and stuff like that. So I hold off on the newer guys typically. Oh, a little crypto talk in here. Yeah, I've been doing some cryptoing myself. That's also another part of this. So it's like I've got my collectibles. I'm also into crypto. I am not an NFT buyer outside of NBA Top Shot that I bought a year ago. So but outside of the NBA Top Shot stuff, I don't own any Bored Ape. I wish I had some Bored Apes, and I wish I had some Crypto Punks. I don't have any of that stuff. So. But honestly, I'm just scared to drop 2 ETH on a random, animal NFT. I have no idea what the heck it is. I would rather put money, for me personally, kind of what you have here. You've got ETH, Bitcoin, and Solana. I'm kind of in the same boat. I've also added in Polygon. I've added some. What's the other one? Cardano. And then I've also got some, what I kind of like too, just as like a fun speculation play is the gaming stuff. So what's the other one that I've got? I just picked up a little bit of it. It's oh man, let me look real quick. It starts with a G and it's a gaming one. It's on Coinbase. I'll tell you. Don't worry, guys. I'll jump off the crypto talk because I know you're here for cards. It is the Gala. Yeah. So, I think the gaming stuff is kind of fun because I just envision what the heck with these super chats? You guys are crazy. Casual collector. I appreciate that. I kind of like the gaming stuff because I just, in my mind, I'm like, man, if I get in on this thing and it's 20 cents a token and it turns into like the Amazon of metaverse gaming, whatever, which it probably won't, but it's just kind of a fun speculation thing. So yeah, I've got some of I think it's Gala games and I like some of those, I think there's one, what is it, Axie or something? It's like $150 a token. Nah, it's already gone to 150. I'm good. I'm not going to get any of that stuff. But all that's, it's just kind of a fun spec thing. I don't have tons of it, but it's just kind of a fun little thing. Okay. Shriners is twice, April, early November. Okay. Yeah. Donruss, Gridiron Kings. I don't know, Ryan, if you saw this. I know you're not as much. Well, you've got football stuff, but this is I showed this when I first came on, but this is 2001 Donruss Elite. And these are pack pulled autos on card. This one's numbered to 100, the Namath. And there's also a dual option where it's Namath and Chad Pennington. Obviously not going to be as wanted unless you're a big Jets fan and you like Pennington. But I just thought that was cool. And as I learned more about kind of these inserts, and of course, if you look at the basketball equivalents of these from the late 90s, early 2000s, they're $1 zillion, so I've been looking into more of where are the football options, for those? Because I'm really a football card collector. That was my first love, and then I've gotten into the other stuff. What's up, Michael Ham? Good to see you. Have you caught anything this week? Have you been able to get out and do any fishing? Yeah. So Mark, I just showed that one that I've been buying. What's another one that just came? I got this one not too long ago. I think I might have showed this on another live stream or on a video, but the reason why I like this card, so you're probably thinking oh, it's just a regular old mem card. Well, this is a 96 Upper Deck game used jersey patch. And it's the first time that they ever did that. And it actually says it on the card. It says, congratulations, you have received the first ever game-worn jersey card from the Upper Deck Company. It says it right on the back. So as I was saying previously, it's I just think that's kind of cool. And when people are arguing about on-card autos, sticker autos, different color patches, etc., it's kind of a cool historical, thing. So I did also trade out of some other base Luka rookies for this blue velocity option. I'm not a big prospector. I don't have a lot of ultra modern stuff, but I just like Luka and I like the color match, so I kind of just got out of a few of other base Luka rookies and got into one that I was kind of targeting anyway, but I didn't have to pay out for it. I could just kind of trade into it. Outside of that, I am on the football side. I am looking hard at like flawless autos. That's really a like Hall of Fame flawless autographs is really where I've been focusing a lot of energy. Thank you again, Casual Collector. That is just like way too generous. Very much appreciate that. Bazooka Tom, good to see you. Breakout Cards, good to see you, buddy. Hope that all is well. Yeah, I did make a video too. Ryan at Breakout Cards has a video on how to spot fake cards, and that's I think that's an important thing to share because I haven't really seen any resources on it. And he's got basically like 50 cards that are faked quite a bit are in this book, and he's talking about different ways that you can kind of recognize the fakes. I did get some pushback in the comments on that video that was basically like, hey, you're kind of giving like the fakers, a blueprint as to things that, basically that you're onto them on these certain things. The thing is, though, is there's so many people that have gotten into the hobby. I almost rather at this point, like we kind of need to have some sort of resource for this sort of stuff, to figure out what is what. I understand the point of like, oh, if they know that we know, then they're going to change what they're doing. But it's kind of a catch-22 either way. I'd rather have some sort of resource than have nothing. So I ordered Ryan's book. So yeah, you can get that on Amazon. And then I believe it's, is it breakoutcards.com, Ryan? Anyway, it's definitely on Amazon. His book, you put the name of the book as well in the chat, Ryan, just so people can check it out if they want to. All right. Chills currently. Oh, the ugly Christmas sweater. It's got a llama on it. So yeah, it's pretty fancy. Pretty fancy. All right, good. Yeah, you're going to get out and get some fishing done. Good to hear. Good to hear. It seemed like that Tampa convention, that Tampa show was pretty good. It seemed like there was a lot of turnout for that show. I'd like to get down there for that show at some point. My family lives there. I went to high school down in Tampa, so I need to go and visit. It's just been wild time with kids and dog and everything else. So it's just not been easy to get down and to travel. Did I want to buy collections after hanging out with Chris last week? You know what? It did show me it's a lot of work. It's a lot more work than I think people might realize. And so I think it's something where, yes, you can make money buying and flipping cards and just arbitrage and catching things at the right time. But it does seem like the folks that are really kind of in it for the long haul, buying and selling, are able to do it like Chris is doing it. That's definitely. Now, it's not to say that Chris doesn't buy higher stuff too. He bought some expensive cards. So I'm not going to share just because I don't know if I assume he's probably going to put it in a video, or he might. So I'm not going to share kind of the cards he bought, but he got some expensive cards, not just the 10-cent cards. That's the one thing that I liked hanging out with him is he's got like his range is crazy, meaning that his range as far as like being able to identify a 2-cent card that he can sell for 10 cents, and then also being able to identify $100 card he could sell for 300 or whatever it is. It was really impressive. It was really impressive. That's a guy that I hope he, we're hobby friends, but I hope that I get to hang out with him more, just because he's a cool guy, but then also he really knows his stuff backward and forward. Not as much on the ultra modern side. He doesn't really operate on that side of the thing, but you don't really need to, you really don't need to. But to kind of answer your question, no, I don't think that I'm quite there yet. It's just so much work, and I just don't have time to do it. I respect the amount of time that it takes, the amount of time that he puts into it. Yeah, the early autos, relics, and when you kind of think about like where's the hobby going with all the Fanatic stuff and the sports memorabilia, I like the idea of having kind of the early relic stuff, the early auto stuff from the 90s or the early 2000s over time. And for me, that's holding it over time, not to buy and flip it like next week, but just kind of hold on to it and see what happens. Plus, I just think the stuff is awesome, so there's that combination. There we go. Spotting Fakes, Amazon. Okay, so yeah. Spotting Fakes is on Amazon. And it's, I bought the book. I think it's maybe $20, but to me, it's worth it. And I think we could probably take for me, I can probably take away those top 50 cards, kind of get an idea of what's common, and then use that information, with other stuff. Oh man, this one's really hard. If you had $1,000 to spend on pre-1975 vintage baseball, what would you buy? Would be interested to know the same for vintage football with $1,000 budget for each sport. Oh man, that's so brutal. Man, I could go in so many different directions. I think that's part of the trouble here. I have a PSA 6 Pete Maravich rookie, 69. It's either 69 or 1970 tops, the tall boy. I would really like to have a second copy of that. And I believe that now I got mine a few years ago where it's literally like $200 for that card in a PSA 6. I think now it's about 800. But honestly, there are so many. I mean, I'd probably buy another autogram rookie card, if that would be an option at about $1,000 and like a PSA 4 or 5, maybe an SGC 5. It's not enough for a Joe Namath rookie card right now, unless maybe it's like a 1, but I really want a Namath rookie card, but those things have just bounced up in price. I already have a Jim Brown rookie card, but again, you would have to go pretty low grade, like a 2 and maybe not even at $1,000. For baseball, there's quite a few options. I mean, you could go a lot of different directions in 50s baseball. You really could. I mean, and actually Ryan breakout cards and Michael Hamm, some of those guys, they look at that. I mean, Ryan is looking at that stuff. Ryan buys and sells a lot of that stuff. Breakout cards, Ryan is a good resource for that. But man, honestly, Wax to the Future, I could probably, if I had some time, I could probably pick out 40 or 50 cards that are in that price range that I would want. So I'm probably not much help there. I saw a fake copy of Ryan's book. Yeah, watch out for those fakes of Ryan's new book. Yeah, I agree. I think it's just such a combination of the era. For me, now I was collecting cards more in kind of that junk wax era. So I was I was out of cards or really kind of moving out of cards in the late 90s. But the mid to late 90s is a cool time. From my childhood. Those were, I graduated high school in 99. So I'm like an 80s 90s kid. I grew up in both decades. So yeah, I can really appreciate, a lot of that stuff. Oh, I like that one. A Sammy Baugh rookie and a 5 or a 7. That's cool. '63 Rose rookie card. Anybody have any opinions on Rose rookie cards? And what I mean by that, and I haven't been following pricing for him, but is he going to go down as like a legend because he was so good, but then he didn't get in the Hall of Fame, or will he get in the Hall of Fame later? Like what for the baseball card collectors, is like, do you have more? How should I phrase this? Do you have more belief, I guess, in like a 63 Rose rookie card over some of the others, just based on like the controversy around Pete Rose, but also the fact that he was just such an unbelievable player on the field? It's just like these off the field things that have held him back. Ernie Banks. Yep. Rookie. Yep. Yeah. Some of the early Bowman stuff is amazing. There was actually was it 53 Bowman? There was a mantle. No, 52 Bowman mantle in a 1 that was, and look, it was a beat up card and it was like $1,500. It was expensive. It was at the National, but I just thought that card was so awesome. I mean, and it's the same year as the 50, the big 52 tops, but the 52 Bowman mantle, of course, it's like kind of that smaller card. It's like, it's smaller than the other cards. But But that card is really, really sweet. I understand kind of why people really appreciate the aesthetics of those early 50s cards, because there is something about them that is special. Yeah. I have to look at the 53 Bowman though, because I'm talking about 52 Bowman. Which year is that? The Reg, the catch card. I'd like to take a look at that one. Oh man, Barry Sanders. Oh, I don't have his stuff in front of me. Well, the 89 score rookie card is, I would say that's my favorite Barry Sanders card. A PSA 10 is on my list. I've got, I think, 4 PSA 9s, and now the pricing on PSA 9s has come down so much. They're so available. So honestly, like if you just want a nice, like near, a mint PSA 9 Barry Sanders 89 score, that's not an expensive card. And even like his 89 Pro set rookie card in a PSA 10 is like $150, 125. One of my favorite Barry Sanders cards is a 2005 exquisite auto. I don't think it's got a patch on it, but it's first year exquisite, and I got a good deal on it. I got it kind of before a lot of the mem stuff took off. I got it for less than $200, but it's a 2005 exquisite Sanders auto, and that's probably, outside of the 89 score, that's probably my favorite Sanders card. I've lost a lot of auctions on his stuff. I've been trying to buy more of the kind of the more scarce, like auto Barry Sanders stuff, patch stuff, and I've just fallen short on auctions. I've just lost on auctions. I've been close, but that stuff has gone way up in price. Barry Sanders is like, people are spending money on Barry Sanders stuff. I wish I could, it's in one of the cases around here, or I would. Next time I'll have it out. I don't think that I have. Yeah, I don't have any of the other stuff, unfortunately. A lot of times what I do is I try to find value where I see value, where I believe there's value. So like I'll look to see like why are certain things selling for less? Like I showed the Joe Namath. For whatever reason, this stuff is not near as expensive as some of the other ones. And I've got kind of a variety of Namath. I don't have like 100, Namath autos, but anytime I can find where I feel like there's value. Another guy that I do this with is Jerry West. I don't have a lot of, I think I've only got 2 or 3 of Jerry West autos, but it's kind of the same story where it's like, it's the logo man. It's a legend of the NBA, but the stuff is far less expensive than, a lot of the newer stuff, so that's, and I'm looking for premium brands, or I'm looking for, kind of what Carlos was talking about earlier, where it's like late 90s, early 2000s pack pulled autos, because back then that was not a common thing. Back in the late 90s, it was not common to pull autos out of packs. That was kind of a rarity, which makes those, to me, it makes those more special kind of over the long haul. What's going on, Ground Balls Garage? Good seeing you at the Raleigh show. He's a local guy here. Good to see you. I am not into Funko Pops, Dex Flow. I'm just not into them. I heard that PSA is grading them. I did not know that. And nothing against Funko Pops. It's just not my thing. And you know me, I mean, I'm into so many different things. Like it would just be another thing that I'm trying to learn. And I feel like I'm just so behind on all the other things. Like there's just so much I could get with the stuff that I'm into. So I haven't gotten into those yet. Rose is more valuable as a non-Hall of Famer. I think if he got in, he's probably dropping price. So you think maybe the controversy gives him a boost as a non-Hall of Famer? 51 Bowman Norm Van Brocklin rookie. Cool. Very cool. I do not know this player, Emlyn Tunnel. I need to do my research on some of these older football. So this is, again, it's pretty far before my time, but I don't know much about Emlyn Tunnel. 51 Bowman. I need to go back and look at these older sets. Whoop. Accidentally just clicked off the screen. Okay, we're back. Yeah, I know. Yeah, and I wonder though if that adds to kind of Barry Sanders' legend. The fact that he played 10 seasons and he didn't grind it out to play, 15 seasons and get run down. And he ended his career on his own terms as opposed to like it just ending on its own for injury or whatever. I wonder if that adds to his legend because he did that. Because now there's always going to be that, people are like, yeah, Emmitt Smith's got the rushing record, but Barry Sanders was a better runner, flat out. Emmitt Smith had an out of this world offensive line. Emmitt Smith was a great runner, but Barry Sanders was, from another planet. There's only 18 here, so I can say this. Graded Topps Junk Wax here, rookie 10 autos. Oh, it's an interesting take. It's interesting. Thanks, Charles. I appreciate that. Yeah, I just look for kind of like, and it sets that, the thing that drives me crazy is like you have people spending $4,000 on a flawless box, but like the singles are like, it doesn't make any sense. Like the singles are out there. You can just get the singles that you want. And yes, granted, I know that you could get I don't know, $50,000 Zion or whatever, but man, I mean, like the funny thing to me, I guess, like where I kind of wonder if the hobby will change, but it's like when you open a box like that, you're looking for the newer, exciting players, and then like the legends that come in the box, they're just kind of like put off to the side or whatever. That's like, oh, those are but they're not playing. Those are the vintage, and I'm like, but that's the stuff, man. That's the stuff. But I don't know. The hobby just doesn't see it like that. Not yet. Not yet, anyway. Logo man. Yep. Logo man. I just think too, the Lakers are just one of those franchises. They're always going to be, it's like the Yankees, I mean, there's only so many Lakers legends. There's only so many Yankees legends. So, Sterling Sharp. Yeah. I think you might've heard that. I told the story, but my parents got me 1989 score supplemental set under the Christmas tree in 1990. It was either a 1989 Christmas or 1990 Christmas, but I thought they'd got me a complete set of 89 score football. So I like lost my mind on Christmas Day. And then I found out it was 89 score supplemental. But the good news is there's a Sterling Sharp rookie card in that supplemental set. And then there's like the cool Bo Jackson card where he's holding the bat. I mean, it's a cool set. It's a cool set. You should get a LeBron or a Koby high-end rookie card. Both those cards are too cheap. I don't know which one you mean, like the LeBron or the Koby high ends are cheap, or the cards I'm showing are cheap. You're right. The cards that I'm showing are a lot cheaper than those cards, and I don't really understand why that is, to be honest with you. But I might have misunderstood the question or the statement. There wasn't a question mark there. Yes. Yeah, the 61, the 61 Fleer set. I'm all over that. I don't know when or how, but we're working on it. I need to chip away on some of that stuff. I was really, really close on a couple of things in that set, and they eluded me. But you know what? Can't have everything all the time. It's just the way it goes. I don't know if I'm going to do this show anymore. I'm not sure. I've been kind of going back and forth on this show. It's the first year for this show, and I do want to go. Honestly, I'd love to. I know you're there in Vegas. I'd love to see you. Also, my friend Chris, Vegas Find 777, is also there. I'd love to see him. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to swing it this year. I think it's going to be awesome though. But it might be next year when I do come to that show. I'm excited to to go to it. I just don't know if it's going to be this year. I think it might have to be next year. We'll see. Well, next year is in like 2023 if they have it again. We will see. We will see. But it would be good to catch up with you. Yeah, this is so. Yeah, and they have those flawless 100 years. Do I have my? Man, I need to pull out my cards before I do live streams. Just pull out a bunch of stuff. But yeah, if you look up like 100 years flawless for NFL, They're not inexpensive, but those are just such awesome cards. They're on-card autos. They've got like that 100-year foil stamp at the top of them. Those are some really nice cards. I've been looking to kind of add some of those, but again, like they're not inexpensive. But yeah, there's a lot of, I think when you look at the pricing too, when you're comparing NFL, football cards to baseball and basketball cards, they're just a lot less expensive. Not all of them, some of them. Tom Brady isn't, but I mean, outside of a handful of guys, there's a lot out there. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of fun in it. If I had more time, I would love to do that. That would be a perfect like retirement job for me. I'm 60 years old when I'm 60 years old, we'll probably all be in the metaverse. So we'll be looking at collections in the metaverse with our virtual reality goggles on, Ready Player One style. Agreed. Yeah, if you ever wonder, like, oh, is Barry Sanders really that good? Just go watch his highlights. Go watch a variety of like YouTube highlight videos, and there's just nobody like Barry Sanders. I understand Jim Brown, and there's a lot of great running backs over time in the NFL, but Barry Sanders was a lightning rod. Yep. Vegas and LA have big shows last weekend of Jan. Yeah, and the Mint Collective, from what I understand, is more of a B2B type. It's kind of like an industry summit, So it's not that I don't want to go there. I would like to see a lot of my friends there, and then there's companies I'd like to talk to there, and there's different things to do for sure. But man, I wish that they had something like that more, like it was like the national or like a mini national, like a legitimate card show with all of that stuff attached to it. So yeah, we'll see. We will see. Bobby Hebert flawless autos. I would like take my money. Bobby Hebert, the Raging Cajun. For those that don't know, I'm a huge New Orleans Saints fan, and Bobby Hebert was the starting QB when I was a kid, when they were rolling on people with the Dome Patrol. Actually, the Saints were actually pretty good. They just couldn't. Their offense couldn't match their defense. The defense was amazing, and Bobby Hebert was serviceable. But Dalton Hilliard was running the ball for us. He was good. Craig Ironhead Hayward, good running game. Just didn't really have receivers. So you can't have it all. Didn't have a strong line outside of what Willie Roaf there during that time, or did he come after? Anyway. All right, good. Yeah. Let's definitely catch up at Atlantic City. I think that's going to be fun. Yeah, Tom Brady, he's inevitable. Thanos. He snaps his fingers and half the league is gone, and he has a Super Bowl ring. That's kind of how it works, right? Yeah, Adrian Peterson's got some nice highlights. Agreed. But Adrian Peterson's like what is he, third or fourth all-time rushing yards? Like, people don't realize Adrian Peterson's like, as far as rushing yards go, he's a top 5 runner in the NFL, like of all time. But he has also been playing for 37 years. Yeah, Barry Sanders in the 60s would be a scary sight. Scary. Flipper Anderson. Did he play for the Rams, I think? Or did he play for a few different teams? I don't know about this card. Who made it? A 1-of-1? Oh, it's a custom Warren Buffett signed. Yeah, I have no idea, man. Or woman. I'm not sure. One time. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know anything about, well, it's custom too, so it's not made by like a licensed manufacturer. Although I don't know who would get the license for a Warren Buffett? I have no idea. That's an interesting one. Yeah, there's been definitely more of a, it's kind of like, would you buy, what's an example? Like memorabilia for like legends of business, like, Steve Jobs' first resume type stuff, because that stuff is, I think it's really cool. I'm sure someone would pay a pretty penny, for stuff like that. A picture of Steve Jobs and, I can't remember the other, the brains, the engineer that started Apple. Anyway, those two guys just together doing like, those are like moments in history, huge moments in history. But like pop culture history, not necessarily, like presidential history, or whatever, like politics or American history or, war stuff or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, Wozniak. That's it. Yep. I think that stuff's awesome though. I have like a weird, Woj. Yeah. I have like a weird, not that I don't own any of it, but I get like, not emotional, but kind of like, that stuff is just so damn cool. When you think about like titans of business and titans of technology like that, I think that stuff is awesome. So any sort of like memorabilia attached to it, pretty cool. And for Warren Buffett, maybe it's like his, I don't know, like a letter he wrote about his first stock trade or something. I have no idea. Something like that. The first Coca-Cola can he, whatever, because he's huge into Coca-Cola. Also into Coke Zero. What have you guys been buying? What are you guys buying right now? Or are you like, hey man, it's the holidays, chill out, I don't need to buy cards? Hey, thanks, John. I appreciate that. I try to cover various sides of hobby news and also just different arguments in the hobby, because you have different kind of hobby viewpoints, which I think are all fascinating. I can kind of see it from different angles, as opposed to looking at it. I think some might look at it kind of black and white, whereas I really like to look at it, from 10 different angles and talk about it. If there are any types of issues or anything that you would like to see more videos on, throw that in the chat. Like if there's things that you'd like to hear talked about more, I'm always listening. Always. Oh, nice. 89 Upper Deck Griffey PSA 10. That's really cool. It's funny how condition rare that card is. But if you think about it, it's like number 1 on the set. So when they're like cutting the sheets for 89 Upper Deck, it's like top left. So it's always like off-centered or whatever. Very difficult to get PSA 10s. So congrats on that card. Vintage Star Wars cards. Love that. Love it. Do you have the comic book, Star Wars #1, 1977? I've got a CGC 9.2 of that one. It's not like crazy expensive or anything, but it's kind of cool. Yeah, case cards. You said you've been buying comic books lately. See more on your mother-in-law's art. Yeah, she's actually, one thing that she's working on, I'm excited to get it, is I asked if she could do a painting of the Super Mario Brothers cartridge. So like the original NES game, Super Mario Brothers. And so she's doing that one. She's doing a painting of not the cartridge, but like the box art, like what the box looks like. I'm excited to get that one. Yeah, Nintendo stickers. Yeah. I like that stuff. That's cool. One card that's on my radar that now is very expensive. Actually, one of my buddies just got one of these. It's the 1940 Superman #1 card, because it's the first trading card with Superman on it. It's not inexpensive, but I just thought that would be like, it's kind of a grail card. If you're like a comic book card person, it's like, that's a pretty damn important card. The other cards in the set are not as expensive. They're not cheap, graded, but like that #1 is expensive. But I was thinking like that would be a cool card to obtain. It's not like expensive, like it's $50,000. I mean, you could probably get a copy of it for maybe like $2,000 or $3,000. It's not cheap, but it's also from 1940. The original Voltron, the action figure Voltron, or the comic book Voltron, or which Voltron? Yeah, the Jim Brown rookie would be very cool. Would be very cool. Jimmy Brown rookie. 1958 Elvis Presley Dutch. Yeah, that's really cool. I almost think that that's kind of like a little, people are like, oh, flipping is dead in the hobby. One way you can do it is exactly what you're talking about right here. But the question's always going to be is, are there going to be demand for these things? But you just need one buyer. You just need one buyer. If you're looking, this is a very good example of like 1958 Elvis Presley cards. You got them inexpensively. You send them off to SGC. So what? It's $30 to grade it. You're $5 a card. So you're $35 in, you sell, and then there's there's probably not comps on it because it's one of these oddball cards. An example of this, like that I could do for me, because I've thought about this too, is like Abraham Lincoln card from the 1800s, or at least I think it's from the 1800s. That's what the listing said. Maybe it's from it could be like 2018 for all I know. But I got this one. It's one of those kind of like cigar company type deals. Oh, no, furniture company card from the late 1800s. And then also John Adams. I just thought it was cool, like historical cards. And who knows if they're altered or any of that. I bought them raw off of eBay, but it was like $50 total. Now I could send them off to an SGC. Man, maybe somebody would pay big bucks for it. I have no idea. And I didn't buy it to sell it. I just thought it would be kind of cool to hold it, as kind of like an antique. But those are great examples though. That's a great example of like, buying something raw inexpensively, sending it off to grade, and then trying to resell that oddball thing that doesn't really have any sort of comps. I like that. Yeah. Oh, the Uno cards. I heard about the Uno cards talked about. I have not dug into that to see kind of what that's about, but I did hear some of this. I think Garyvee was talking about Uno cards and stuff or whatever. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, the Superman card is cool because it's old. I mean, it's from 1940. You can just tell it's, it's got some cool art. That set. It's pretty neat. Yeah, right. Neo is somewhere lurking. He's lurking in the background somewhere. Lord of the Rings action figures from the early 2000s. The only problem with the early 2000s is just the how much they made of them. And then Lord of the Rings is really niche. You never know though, honestly. Like Harry Potter is someone the people have gone hard on Harry Potter memorabilia and stuff with the idea that in 20 years, that's, those kids that were into Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, they become adults and they go back and they look for the stuff. Yeah, no, I mean, who knows? Could be. Okay, the toys. Yep. That's awesome. Did I come out on a Garyvee show? No, I didn't come out. I've been on a couple of Garyvee shows. I've been on his Tea with Garyvee, and then I also got on what was it? Coffee. Oh man, I'm trying to remember the name of it. It was like Coffee and Marketing. Coffee. It was a marketing morning show. He was doing these during the pandemic. He was doing Tea with Garyvee, and he was doing Cards and Commerce was the name of it. And I was able to get on both of those. And it was cool. So yeah, I have had interaction with him. I don't have any sort of like, I don't talk to him. I don't work for him or anything like that, but I have been on a couple of his shows. Yeah, I didn't come out. If you mean like coming out, no, I'm not. But if you mean like coming out, starting a YouTube channel or something, no, I had started my YouTube channel months before I ever got on Garyvee's shows. I don't have any wrestling cards. No, I don't have any wrestling cards. I don't have that big nostalgia thing with like WWE wrestling. And it was actually WWF wrestling when I was a kid. So they had to change the name because it was like, what was it like? There was an animal rights thing, or there was something with WWF where they had to change it to WWE. I wasn't a massive wrestling fan. I was into it. I mean, I liked Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior and all those guys, but I wasn't like a diehard wrestling fan. So I don't have the nostalgia piece. So I haven't collected wrestling cards. Yep. World Wildlife Federation, and they had to change it. Exactly. There's also some kind of cool like 60s Batman. I think it's like the early Batman cards as well from the 60s. Those are kind of cool too. They're not as cool as like the 40s Superman stuff, but if you're looking for like kind of the vintage comic book cards, that's pretty cool though. I didn't know there was a 66 Donruss Marvel card set. That's awesome. Nice. Yeah, my uncle used to collect currency, U.S. currency, old U.S. currency. I think he still has some of it, but that's something too, where it's if you see I saw some of that at the national at the national card show. There was also some currency there that people were selling, like old currency, and that's cool. I mean, it's like when you look at like the artwork and the detail that went into old currency, it's pretty neat. Oh wait, I'll answer this, but Criminal Mind, which comment did I skip over? Let me go back and look. I don't see any of your comments. Okay, I see Pokemon Modern is a horrible investment. What a waste of 4K. Okay, something about Dakota. Pete Rose had over 4,000 hits. He's an all-time great. Okay. All right. So there you go, Criminal Mind. I wasn't avoiding. All right. Where was that? No, I did not. I did not think that I would get on Garyvee's show. And I didn't get into sports cards because of Garyvee. I was already into sports cards, but I was kind of listening to him for motivational type stuff. Because look, I mean, he's a motivational guy, and just like with a lot of kind of hobby, content creators, there was kind of the, get out there and create content, put yourself out there, and this was before there was a lot of card channels. Now there's a lot of them. But I was like, why, and then you see like Jeff Wilson, a sports card investor, whether you like or don't like his show. I was like, well, this is pretty cool. Like, I mean, this is like a regular guy that just like started a YouTube channel. And then I think with a lot of people, it's like, why not? Why not give that a shot? And so I did in March of 2020. And so it just worked out to where I was able to, he's on Twitter a lot, Garyvee, or at least he still is, but back then he would put like his people would ask for different topics, different things. And I kind of chimed in like, hey, if you want to talk about sports cards, I'd like to come on. And then I just got lucky and was able to come on and talk with him about some of that stuff. But it was cool to meet him for sure. Like meet him, basically on a Zoom call. But no, I didn't ever think that would happen, but it was definitely cool. Is the NFL catering to Brady and Mahomes? Yeah, I think it's like with a lot of these pro leagues, it's like the league, it's like the leagues need heroes. That's how I kind of look at it. They need heroes. Look, back when it was like Michael Jordan's league, it was Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and then it was Michael Jordan's league. It was like they definitely catered to Michael Jordan. They did. And they definitely catered to LeBron James now. Absolutely. They catered to LeBron James. I think they catered to Tom Brady. I think, Tom Brady sells the most jerseys, I think, of any player. He's obviously the most accomplished player in the league. And then Mahomes, I think that there is something to that where, he's kind of that up and comer, to where I think the NFL is going to, I don't know. It depends on what you mean by catering, though. I mean, they're popular players, so I think they're going to, kind of favor them to some degree, but I don't know exactly what you mean by catering to them. The cards you are considering grading, we can help you decide where to send them. Yeah. That was that was a good comment. And dang it, I don't have them all. I've got a bunch. Let me grab, actually, I've got some over here. Hang tight. I'm going to go off the screen for a second, but I will be right back. I'll grab a few of them. All right. Hopefully, we didn't lose too many people. Okay, so cards I'm considering grading, and it's either kind of like SGC or PSA. BGS just, it just seems like it's going to take too long. I haven't really considered BGS. All right, so examples. Eric Dickerson, National Treasures, or I'm sorry, Flawless, numbered to 5. Tony Dorsett, Heisman Trophy winner, exquisite inscriptions. LT, National Treasures, patch auto. Am I going too fast? Another Dickerson, I believe, National Treasures with a patch. Flawless Earl Campbell. Kind of an earlier Flawless. Oh, no, I'm lying. 2020. I'm just going to show a few more, so I'm not just... Yeah, and there are some thicker cards, too, Canton Card Collectors. So, Bart Starr Exquisite. Warren Moon Cornerstones. Yeah, case cards. It's really between SGC and PSA. I mean, look, if BGS would be an option if it was not going to take a year and I don't, cost and everything else. This is just a Booker patch rookie. It is a thicker card. So, and there's more, but I mean, I would say a lot of it falls into that. I'd also like to get, I'd like to get this card graded. I showed this. That's that 96 upper deck. That first kind of mem card. This is 2006 Donruss Elway patch auto. Want to get it graded. But yeah, I mean, you get the idea. I mean, that's a fair, I would say that's a fair amount of cards, but a lot of them are in that bucket. It's kind of like Hall of Fame, patch auto type stuff. So is the consensus PSA? Is that what I'm hearing PSA? Even for the the thicker auto cards, because I was kind of thinking that maybe SGC, or maybe even waiting for BGS. I don't, because I'm not in a huge hurry. I'm not, it's I would say it's PC, but not to say I would never sell them, but I don't need to sell them for years. Like I get, few years, 5 years or whatever. I mean, 10 years. All right. So I'm seeing a lot. Okay. So some SGCs, some PSAs. Okay. Yeah, this is actually a good point. It's like keep them all ungraded till it all blows over and just see what's what. That's not honestly a bad take, really. I mean, just kind of seeing what happens. What if it gets real competitive? What if all these companies get caught up and then they're like, and then they're competing with pricing because they're caught up and they're like, there's a little bit more of a price battle. Because right now there's just like a boatload of demand. But I don't know. That's good to hear. I like CSG, and I know people don't like the slab or not the slab, but the label, the green label. I really don't mind it. I've got some CSG stuff. I don't have tons of it, but I do have it, and I am always open to buy rare stuff. Actually, reach out to me too if you have Inglorious B. If you have football, kind of the same. You kind of know what I buy, but if you have any of that type of stuff in a CSG slab, I'd like to look at it. Yeah, I'm not in, and that's why I have been kind of just sitting on my hands. I haven't really been in a big hurry. SGC will still hammer the thick cards on condition even when they are caught up. So the consensus is just don't send the thick cards to SGC. Is that the thick cards go to either PSA or they go to BGS? Yeah, definitely shoot me a message. My Instagram is just the personal finance dad at the personal finance dad. Yeah, find me on there. That would be cool. Yeah, and I'm not confident. I mean, they don't look bad. They don't look bad, but I'm not, I'm not gonna pretend like I'm some greater. Like I don't look at cards enough to know. Like I would miss. I don't feel like uberly confident that they're pristine. You know what I mean? At this on the same token, though, I'm not necessarily like if I got an SGC 8 instead of getting a 9 or a 10, I wouldn't be devastated by it necessarily because I'm buying stuff that is fairly, it's numbered, it's an auto, it's memorabilia or whatever. It's not like a base card, or even like a parallel. Even like a card like this, I would be upset if this came back an SGC 8 because the value is has this card, even though it's not a base card, it's still one of many many parallels, so, and it's not numbered. Yeah, so maybe just do, wait for PSA and maybe get a PSA 9. Collecting quarterbacks, you talking about vintage quarterbacks, case cards, or are you talking about modern ones, like guys that are playing right now? Yeah, it's hard to argue with the price and the fact that they give you an auto grade. The fact that you get kind of like the grade and the auto grade, it's kind of all wrapped into one. And what is it, 28 bucks, 30 bucks a card, or 35 total with shipping or whatever? Okay, SGC. Okay, that's good to know. Thank you for that input. Best move those silvers. Were you talking to me, Michael? Which silver are you talking about? Or are you just talking about silver prisms in general? Glad people are figuring it out. Yeah, and I like the tuck. I like that. I like the tuck slab. Like I know some people don't like the SGC slab. I like it. I don't have an issue with it. I don't have an issue with it. Oh, I see. So this is what Mike was talking about. 500 plus high-end Brady's bought in 2020 raw. I'm sitting on all of it, including a raw 12 prism silver. Oh, okay. Oh man, a raw 2012 prism silver. Dude, I think what did a PSA 10 just sell for like 30 grand, 40 grand? I would put that in the what is it? The Express PSA. Yeah, get that sold. That's awesome, man. Congrats. Yeah, fair enough. Scarcity of national treasures on card autos will sell ungraded. Yeah. Yeah, fair enough on that. I have a Joe Theismann rookie. I'd have to dig that out. I've got one. Joe Theismann just isn't as popular. I don't know. I've got a couple of his autos too. Hold on, I'll show you. I got these at the Raleigh show last time. These are, what are these from? What year? What year is this? Shoot. Well, they're like late 90s, early 2000s upper deck. And I got them for, I think, $15 each because we negotiated on a few different things. But, well, Lawrence Taylor ended Joe Theismann's career, basically broke his leg. Yeah, Theismann was good. He was good. All right, guys, I'll probably wrap up here. I just realized I've been on for an hour and a half. Didn't even realize that. But thanks very much for joining me here. Throw any more. If you have any questions, anything else you want to talk about in the chat, I'll look to wrap up in maybe like, I don't know, 5-10 minutes, unless there's something deep you want to get into, any deep conversation. I really like the Joker. He's such a great player. It's just the thing with him, and it's just one of those, it's like, will it get hobby love? And it's just big men just don't get it. It's kind of the reason why it's like, why are Tim Duncan rookie cards? Like, why do they cost what they cost? When Tim Duncan has 5 rings and is an all-time great player, but was he flashy? No, he wasn't. But he's one of the best big men of all time. One of the best players of all time, really, Tim Duncan. And so that's kind of, I think, the hesitation with a guy like, Jokic is, will he ever get kind of that hobby love? And I'm only saying that if you're like putting big money into it with the expectation that it's going to go up over time, because it very well might. And he very well might be amazing, but he very well might be amazing and still not get that price bump. And that's the concern that I have about his stuff. But I really like him as a player, though. I really like him as a player. Yeah, man. Absolutely. Thanks for tuning in. Watch my kids as we speak. That's great. Yeah. For once, I don't have my kids running around me here. I'm like, it's weird. It's actually kind of quiet for a change. But no, that's awesome. Thank you very much for joining me here tonight. That's awesome. What is I think Dibs and other sites like Otis will be a play soon as parts of the market reestablish a floor. I have some of the Otis stuff, and I had them as a sponsor on my channel for a little while because I did like what they were doing. The thing with Fractional that I'm always careful of is the initial valuation. It's like if you're, and that's with anything, whether it's Otis or Collectible or any of them, you always have to look at like what did they originally purchase that item for, and do you feel good about that? There's so many other factors, obviously, but that's one thing that I noticed with Otis, because they have been around a little while. They've been around since 17 or 18 or something. They had purchased items back then, in 17, 18, 19. And, so they had gotten in on some stuff at what I felt to be a pretty good price. So I agree with you. I'd like to see those companies kind of just evolve and, see what happens. What do you think of those Durant guaranteed rookie card Jordan boxes? It's got to devalue or make 10s more expensive. I don't know anything about this case cards. Durant guaranteed rookie card Jordan boxes. Yeah, I don't. Is that like a repack or something, or some sort of a? I don't know anything about those. So if you want to expound a little bit on it, I would like to know. I would like to know more because I don't know. I don't know enough about it. We met you at the National. You signed a Bulls hat. I remember you guys. Yeah, I remember you guys. I took a picture. One of my buddies took a picture of all of us. So yeah, it's great to see you. Thanks for watching. The random repack new box did have series 2, but nobody ever hit a Cuna. Yeah. Repacks aren't really, they're not very popular among hobbyists, I've noticed. not to say that people don't get into them, and not to say that people don't get good hits out of certain repacks. I've just never gotten into, honestly, I've never really gotten into like the gambling, kind of the sports betting aspect of sports cards, whether it be breaks or repacks. Me personally, I haven't gotten into it. I've just always been buying singles. I've done a break with a couple of my like hobby friends, but like, literally like, it was like, oh, we found Optic at the Walgreens. Do you all want to pitch in and do a break? Stuff like that. Not like, let's pitch in on this $4,000 flawless box, or this $1,000 hobby box, whatever. No, I've never done any of that stuff. All right. Thanks, Mark. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to everybody. I think I'm going to wrap up here. Jennifer, let me see if I can. What are your thoughts on the holiday cards? I'm one card away from all the variations for the 2020 set. Which set is this? The holiday cards? I'm not sure I know about it. A repack from Meyer. It's a Power Cube box, I believe. Oh man. Okay, it's a repack with a guaranteed Jordan slab, and they come with a rookie pack from KD's year. Greg Oden on top saves. That's wild. Yeah, I haven't heard anything of that. That's pretty cool. Interesting. I don't know. I feel like I can't give any sort of like, I can't give any real thought on it because I'm learning about it right now. I need to go and look into it a little bit more. But that's really interesting. Have you bought any of it? Have you tried to, get into any of that stuff? I haven't done it yet. Yeah, I'm sorry, Jennifer. I don't know about that. The Topps holiday set. I don't know about that one. So I wish I could give some sort of a amazing insight, but I've got nothing for you. Nothing that's going to be useful. Yeah, Evan. Oh, I appreciate that. I'm going to just sit on the autogram, man. I'm going to sit on that for a long time, unless I just need the money, for something wild. But no, that's definitely a long-term hold. And that's the thing I talk about. It's like I would like to really have kind of multiples of those cards. And I was fortunate. You're right. I got a good price on that 6, and but I haven't seen a 6 since then sell at the price that I got it for. And I actually got it for less. So that's one thing that to watch also, because it'll show like the sold listing. What happened was it was listed as a buy it now with no offer, meaning like buy it now, but they weren't taking offers. And I messaged the seller and I was like, hey, look, can you take this for it less than the buy it now? And he accepted. He changed it so I could buy it for less, but then it still goes in as the original price. So I think it might have showed as like $1,095 or something like that. I didn't pay that for it though. But let that be a lesson though, just because someone doesn't have a best offer, option there, I still reach out to sellers, especially in this environment where it's more of a buyer's market. Don't be afraid to reach out to a seller and say like, hey, can you do this? I mean, granted, I don't offer, if they're listing for 1,000, I don't say, hey, can you take 400 for it? But I mean, if it's, $100, $200 off, it's worth a shot. I mean, they might say, screw you, I'm not going to work with you. But a lot of times they'll just either not answer you, or they'll say like, hey, sorry, I can't do it. Or they'll say, yeah, I can do it. So, but yeah, no, I appreciate that. I'd like to have a handful of autogram rookies. I will try to get more of them. Yeah, I like the mem stuff. The mem stuff. He's got some good stuff. I've got an auto of his. And of course he's not alive anymore to sign more things. So those are interesting. And then the game used. Congrats on that. That's really cool. Flippin' Steve is on the Great Curators live stream. What the heck? He didn't tell me that. He did not share that with me. So gonna have to shoot him a message here in a minute. Let him know. Yeah. Okay. Yep. I see where we stand now. I see where we're at. All right, guys. I am going to go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you very much for joining me on a random Friday night. I appreciate it. I will probably do these every now and again. I think that's, it's good times, fun. And I just like hanging out with you guys. So thanks very much for the folks that, he's in a chat over there. No video. He's not on a video though. Huh. Okay. But yeah, I'll probably do these here and there because it's just fun. And I like the one-on-one-ness of it. So feel free, if there's other things you want to talk about too, you can reach out to me on Instagram. It's at thepersonalfinancedad, or on Twitter. Same thing, the Personal Finance Dad on Twitter. And if there's things that you want to talk about on the next live stream, then I can bring those up. I'll make notes of kind of those questions. I think that'd be kind of fun to do and just do these live streams and talk about it. I think that'd be cool. All right, guys, have a really, really good weekend. I hope that it's, you have some good weather and everything else. Take care of yourselves. As I always say. Oh, am I still alive? Okay. I thought that I lost it. The actually, the power almost flickered off. Okay. All right, guys, stay healthy, stay awesome. I'll talk to you again later. See you guys.